Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the recent drama around the YouTuber MrTLexify, more specifically the response by the other YouTuber NoahJ456. But before we get into the video, I would just like to quickly ask that if you happen to enjoy this video to leave a like and subscribe. So this whole drama started out when the YouTuber MrTLexify had some allegations made against him by his now ex-girlfriend Reagan Mcnulty. She alleged that Lex was an abusive partner and also a groomer. Lex then responded in one of the best response videos I've honestly ever seen. And sorry for the glazing, but it's true. And just a quick little thing here, I'm not going over the allegations that Reagan made against Lex. If you want to see the full story or just hear Lex's response, watch his video on the situation because it goes over everything. Link in the description. He also not only alleged that Reagan was an actual groomer, but he showed legitimate proof of that claim, and on top of that, Lex then decided to go full scorched earth on all of his previous friends who showed support for his ex without even reaching out to him beforehand to hear both sides.
I would like to state, Pat, that I did send you a message privately on your Twitter before you made this statement public, in which you saw, but you chose not to respond and hear my side of events and Reagan's roommate's side of events. You not wanting to hear anything I had to say and painting my ex-girlfriend in a benevolent light when there's evidence of her clearly being a pedophile was a direct punch to my gut after calling you my best friend for many years. You had said you had looked at all the evidence, but conveniently skipped out on how Reagan is a definitive pedophile proven by her own diary and words. I don't want to hear about a lack of trust where nothing bad happened when you did not listen to Noah's ex-wife Martina about Noah's scandalous behavior in 2021, which did not allow for a third Z house to happen. Noah invited all of us to Texas in September 2021 for a third Z house, yet nothing was ever filmed because Noah cheated on Martina in 2021 at EDC. And you and JC were utterly supportive of him in Texas, even inviting him to cry at our own Airbnb without my consent. It boggles my mind that you would be supportive of a man who blatantly cheated on his wife for fun, yet would not share the same sentiment to me when I was obviously in an abusive relationship that I could not escape from. If you want to trust my ex-girlfriend so much, here's a post Reagan made about seeing you cheat on Emmy with her sister Kate at Coachella. Everybody in our group saw your inexcusable actions and were utterly shocked that you would be sensually touching your girlfriend's sister in front of all of us while Emmy was not there. I don't think PlayStation Studios wants to associate with a cheater who defends pedophiles such as my ex-girlfriend Reagan. I guess it makes sense considering Noah also invites pedophiles to his own DJ sets. This is incredibly disingenuous of all of you and makes sense why each of you would side together and defend my pedophilic ex-girlfriend while never contacting me once and dropping me at the whim of a hat.
So there's a lot to unpack here, but I'll go over the basics real quick. So Lex's response to Reagan, like I've said already, is honestly perfect. The issue begins with the section of the video we just watched. First off, TheSmithPlays is a massive scumbag. Lex reached out to him before he made his now infamous video on the situation and just didn't respond. He just left him on red in Twitter DMs. I mean, it's not surprising coming from the guy who hopped on the Fortnite hype train and then went back to COD when his views were low. The second thing was that Noah J cheated on his wife, and after watching the whole response for the first time, I got to this section of the video and I was just dying laughing at this because bro just said fuck it and leaked everything he had and thought he had. I'll get to that in a second, but first I just want to go over Noah's first attempt at a response because it's honestly kind of funny.
Okay. All right. Volume should be good. Just for context, before we get started at all, I want to let you guys know that I'm going to be reading off a script for this video, which I know feels less genuine to like the millionth degree, but this video is so serious and important that I need to lean on something to organize my thoughts and to communicate everything properly. I kept trying to film this as a video, so I didn't need to like have it feel so disconnected reading out the script, but I figured streaming it's the best way that I can really do face-to-face with you guys as much as possible while still saying exactly what I need to say. As most of you guys know, years ago I was married and I met a girl and got married right out of college in Texas. And due to family values, we weren't able to live together or move in together until after we got married. In the coming months after we got married, we finally moved in and we both individually came to the realization that we were really not a compatible couple. Our lifestyles, living together, our wants and our needs, and many more things never really matched up eye to eye. Because I grew up instilled in me that divorce is never an option, no matter what. I tried to make things work, went to counseling, got therapy, but at the end of the day, we were really just two fundamentally incompatible people.
So this is from the now 5-minute long stream of his, but the original was up to 15 minutes long, and in that you can actually see his chat even after it was finished. But now the chat has either been removed deliberately, or maybe when he cut the stream's length down, the chat kind of just went with it. But I remember this because my dumbass was watching Mr. Turkish Tom. I was watching his stream going over this live, and I remember seeing that the stream was 15 minutes long, and also this clip right here.
That I was very, very unhappy in.
Why do it in a live stream like this? Why not just make a video? Why live stream when Shaq can just cook you? Come on. You thought this was the best approach, Noah?
So we bonded through these talks, and at some point we realized that we had feelings for each other. I know some of you guys are going to try to make excuses for me. I already see it in chat. I already am seeing like,
I don't see any excuses in chat. I don't see any.
Yeah, so that was obviously pre-recorded. I mean, he started saying shit like, I see you guys in chat. Nuh-uh, little bro. Chat was cooking you alive, Riz. Now, the story was dead for around 3 weeks until Noah uploaded his second response video, where he managed to debunk some of the claims made against him, and he also decided to dig up some of the stuff from Lex's video itself and, like, exaggerate it, kind of. So I'll go over that now, and I'll start off, but I'll play the clip, and then I'll go over the clip, and then I'll play the clip and go over the clip until I've kind of finished this section.
In August of 2017, Lex brought a girl named Reagan over to the Z House. If you're unaware, the Z House was a content house comprised of 5 different YouTube content creators that made videos together and featured other creators such as myself who would often visit the house. When Lex first brought Reagan over to the Z House, he told everyone she was 18 years old. 2 weeks ago, Lex released a document and a YouTube video titled My Ex in response to the allegations made by his ex-girlfriend Reagan. In those documents, we found out that Lex knew Reagan was underage and lied to all of us in the Z House about it.
It is very important to note that when my friends first met Reagan, Reagan had asked me to lie to them about her age.
The night that Lex brought Reagan over, he was 19 years old, and we thought Reagan was 18 years old because that's what Lex told us. But in reality, Reagan was 16 years old that night, 2 years below the age of consent in California.
I'm just gonna come out on a limb here and say that a 19-year-old with a 16-year-old doesn't make the 19-year-old a pedophile. I mean, it's weird as fuck. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's a little fucked up that he lied about it, sure. I mean, is it technically illegal? Yeah. Do I really care? No.
Thinking it somehow absolved him of any wrongdoing, Lex then revealed in his video that he knew Reagan was an underage obsessed fan.
Another important thing to mention is that Reagan was an obsessive fan of mine. She fetishized me before I even knew who she was. I never used my influence to engage with her. She was the first person to message me and enact any sort of relationship.
When I learned about all of this 2 weeks ago, I felt so betrayed that someone I considered my friend would bring an underage fan into what was supposed to be a safe place amongst friends and continuously lie about her age.
Now, this is something I can criticize Lex for. I don't really care about the power dynamic. That argument can suck my balls. But what was really stupid of Lex here was that he even entertained this girl, considering the fact that she was self-admittedly a little crazy. My best guess here is that Lex was probably just not used to that sort of female attention and just kind of fell into it when she gave it to him, which is still very stupid of him.
And this entire situation was not even the only interaction with a minor that he admitted to. Lex was talking to a 13-year-old fan while he was 20 years old to discuss his relationship problems.
Alex was a fan of my channel who had messaged me first because I momentarily opened my Twitter DMs to the public. Alex was the one who initiated the conversation with me. Our communication included a short Skype call during which I discussed the abuse I was currently experiencing with my ex-girlfriend Reagan. The conversation was strictly non-sexual and was never taken anywhere appropriate. Alex was simply a kind fan that I confided in as to he led me with my ex-girlfriend Reagan. Let's put this point in the 13-year-old fan on screen learning the in defense that he let me in. What he failed to do was mention the arrest which he betrayed about. This tweet was bad, alleging that Lex actually knew her age and continued talking to her, and quote, wanted a friend in Ireland and removed it after that.
Again, this is just Lex being retarded. I have no clue why he decided to talk to a fan of all people about this, but Noah's also retarded for showing that damning tweet because where's the evidence? I don't see, until I see screenshots or any sort of proof that Lex acted in any sort of weird way towards this person or planned to meet up with them, I don't really care.
And even more than that, Lex turned around in his video and backstabbed the people that supported him for years by making up blatantly false allegations against us. Lex told his audience that our friend JC cheated on his girlfriend Emmy with his girlfriend's sister at Coachella. Lex said this about someone who he once called a close friend. JC's family has welcomed Lex into their home multiple times. Every single person who was at that Coachella this year can tell you that this never happened. In fact, his only proof that this happened was a text message from his ex-girlfriend Reagan, which he had just spent the previous 20 minutes of video telling us exactly why not a single word she says should be trusted.
If you want to trust my ex-girlfriend so much, here's a post Reagan made about seeing you cheat on Emmy with her sister Kate at Coachella. Everybody in our group saw your inexcusable actions and were utterly shocked that you would be sensually touching your girlfriend's sister in front of all of us while Emmy was not there.
So either A, Lex decided for this one instance in the entire video to believe his girlfriend and throw out the allegation that was completely false against JC. Or B, he actually was using this as a point to say, oh look, don't trust my ex-girlfriend about anything. It's a horrible way to make a point to throw your friend under the bus like that.
And I have to agree with him on this. I mean, it was a horrible way for him to show that Reagan would just make shit up. But the thing is, you throw him under the bus the same way, not even wanting to hear his side before supporting the Smith Plays dumbass statement. Was what Lex did to JC petty? Yeah, sure. But in his mind, you guys did the same thing to him.
Touching your girlfriend's sister in front of all of us while Emmy was not there. I don't think PlayStation Studios wants to associate with a cheater who defends pedophiles such as my ex-girlfriend Reagan.
What you are seeing on screen is every single person that Lex manipulated into thinking that JC was a backstabbing snake and a cheater and tried to get him fired from his job when he did absolutely nothing wrong.
This is, in all honesty, probably the worst thing that Noah pointed out in this video. I didn't really like it when I saw it in Lex's original video, and it sort of sours the video itself. I completely condemn this sort of cancellation. I mean, he should be as well. Trying to get someone to lose their sponsors is completely unacceptable unless the person's like a fucking pedophile or something. And speaking of which,
Lex then accused me of personally inviting Mini Ladd, a YouTuber accused of talking to underage individuals, to my DJ set in Los Angeles. I want to make this very clear. I did not invite Mini Ladd to come see me DJ, nor do I condone any alleged actions with underage individuals ever. Lex tried to use Mini Ladd's appearance in the crowd as definitive proof that I had invited him to my DJ set.
I guess it makes sense considering Noah also invites pedophiles to his own DJ sets.
Not only is this reason absolutely insane to say something as a fact, but here are several facts that actually prove otherwise. The first is that the event coordinators themselves confirmed he was actually invited by an entirely different party. The second you can see on the flyer that I'm actually not on because I was a last minute booking is that this is an open invite event with over 400 people on the guest list that I don't even have access to. So let me state this one more time. Mini Ladd was invited to this public event by someone else entirely, and Lex lied about it in order to deflect from his own allegations again.
yeah, that's fair. I think the whole idea that Lex had behind the last segment was, fuck these guys, what dirt do I have? And some of that dirt is easily proven wrong like this, but some of that dirt is Noah cheating on his wife.
Even though Lex spouted a ton of lies, the thing that made it difficult to separate and respond properly was there was one thing that he said that was true. Lex put in his video that I had cheated on my now ex-wife, something I confided in him while I was still trying to take responsibility for it. 3 years ago when this happened, I started a divorce and cut contact with a friend that I had developed feelings for while still married. I've already sincerely and repeatedly apologized to my ex-wife. I know I hurt her, and that is the thing that I regret the most in my entire life. In the years since, I was honest with myself on how I even ended up in that situation. I came to terms with how immaturely I treated my emotions because I thought I had life figured out when I really genuinely didn't know anything. I, to be honest, was a fucking idiot who thought I knew better than everyone else telling me not to get married so early. So many things went into making sure that I will never, ever make that mistake ever again.
Not to be some sort of centrist here, but I think both people look kind of stupid in this situation. Lex defended himself from Reagan, but he had a pretty salty outburst against like his friends. But it also makes sense why he did so. They threw him under the bus, so I can understand it from that point of view. At the end of the day, both sides are dumb. Noah defended himself from like the Mini Ladd allegation, which wasn't really much to begin with. He cheated on his wife still, pretty gay, if you ask me. Overall, Reagan's a whore. That's a takeaway.